sophomore, and Larry Garr, Vic Backlund, my baseball coach, he was the 1989 USA Today National Coach of the Year. The last varsity coach is Tom Smythe, and statistically he's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time in the state of Oregon, winning percentages.
In football, Luke Atwood led the 1996 league championship team as a quarterback and reached the semifinals of the state playoffs.
I remember Sean Kittner intercepting a ball in the end zone and hearing the horn go blast for halftime. And Sean kind of toyed around with maybe he's going to return it all the way for a touchdown. I think he got out to like the 10-yard line, and he's just surrounded by bodies. And I was clear on the other side of the field, but I was behind him. So I put my hands like this and I screamed, "Sean!" And he looked at me and just effortlessly took the ball and winged it all the way across the field back to me on a lateral. And I remember it was on my shoelaces, and I scooped it off the ground. And I ran about 10 yards, and there's just a wall of bodies again. And Trevor Davenport comes out of nowhere and just nails two guys. And I cut left and take it all the way to the house for a touchdown. I also remember Coach Smythe came up to me after that, and Sean, he said, it is such a pleasure to coach incredible athletes.
Luke was an all-league basketball player that helped McNary win the league championship and placed 5th at state tournament in 1995.
Larry Garr was incredible to play for because, I feel like he coached me for 10 years. Because he was just, as a little boy, he'd go to the camp, and he kind of saw me all the way through. So I was very fortunate to have a basketball coach like Coach Garr, who really was on and off the court, just everything you could ever ask for.
Luke Atwood was also an all-state outfielder and in the Oregon/Washington All-Star Series. He managed to receive MVP and still holds the record for most hits to this day.
In the state metro game, I went 0 for 5 in the first game, and he played 3 games. And I went home that night, or I went to the hotel that night, and man, I was pretty depressed, you could say, just because this is your big showcase. It's all the best players from around. And to top it off, I was 0 for 4, and I got up with the bases loaded, and I hit a home run, but it went foul. I'm just and then I ground out. So then I went 0 for 5. So I'm really I can't catch a break. What am I doing here? I'm feeling horrible. It's pretty rewarding when you can come back from something like that and succeed. And in the next 2 games, I got 7 hits, and I was the MVP of the series.
After graduation, he attended Willamette University until he was later invited to play in Austria by his coach, Tom Smythe. Today, he enjoys coaching the freshman football team at McNary and his son's football team at Whitaker Middle School.